There are mornings when the room is quiet, when the light comes in softly, when your hands move slowly because your heart has been carrying more than your smile has admitted. I see you in that stillness. I see the moment you wake up and, before your feet even touch the floor, your mind tries to measure the day by what has not changed. You listen for something different, you look for a sign, you check the same places for movement, and it feels like silence is the only thing answering you. But hear me carefully. Just because your house is quiet does not mean heaven is quiet. Just because your calendar looks unchanged does not mean my hand has stopped moving. There is sacred work happening in the unseen places of your life, in rooms you cannot enter yet, in conversations you have not heard yet, in timing you cannot control, and I have not been absent for a single moment of your wait. I know you are tired. I know you have whispered prayers that you no longer have strength to shout. I know you have wondered if I misplaced your name among the millions of voices, if your situation somehow slipped past my attention. You have watched others move forward and you have asked, what about me? You have tried to be patient, but the waiting has felt like a weight, and the uncertainty has tried to convince you that delay is denial. It is not. A promise delayed is not a promise denied. Your suddenly is not late. It has been growing in places your eyes could not measure. What looks like stillness to you has been strategy in my hands. What feels like silence has been preparation. I have been aligning what must meet you at the right time. I have been restraining what would have harmed you. I have been strengthening what must hold you when the answer comes. And I am telling you this morning so your heart can rest. I am already making a way for you, even if you cannot see the road yet. Do not let fear write the schedule for your life. Fear counts days, I count destiny. And sometimes, the final stage before sudden movement feels like the quietest stage of all, because I am finishing what cannot be rushed and cannot be forced. So, stay with me. Let your spirit settle under my voice. If this word is for you, tap like as an act of agreement, and stay with me to the end so your spirit can fully receive what I'm releasing this morning. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You are in a sacred in-between where I am working beneath the surface, and your suddenly is closer than your fear believes. You have been fighting 2 clocks at once, and that is why your chest has felt tight when you look at the day ahead. 1 clock is fear's timeline, loud and impatient, always tapping its fingers, always whispering, it's taking too long, you missed it, it's too late now, nothing is going to change. Fear points to the date on the calendar, the number in the bank account, the silence in the phone, the lack of evidence, and it calls that proof. Fear measures by symptoms, by bills, by unanswered messages, by visible progress, and it tries to make you believe that if you cannot see it, I must not be doing it. But hear me, you measured wrong. You have been reading your life through the language of panic, and panic is a poor prophet. Fear counts days, I count destiny. Fear counts what you lost, I count what I preserved. Fear counts what is missing, I count what is being aligned. And my timing is not slow, it is precise. My timing is protecting what your emotions would rush and ruin. There are things you begged me for that, if I had handed them to you at the moment you demanded, would have crushed you instead of crowned you. There are doors you wanted open that were attached to rooms that would have stolen your peace, drained your strength, and delayed you further. You called it delay, but I called it mercy. You called it silence, but I called it hidden work. You called it rejection, but I called it protection. You called it stillness, but I called it preparation. Let this be settled in your spirit like a law that cannot be broken. A promise delayed is not a promise denied. I am not late. I am not confused. I am not distracted. While fear was telling you the story of never, I was writing the chapter called Suddenly. While you were counting how long it has been, I was ordering steps you could not see, moving pieces you could not reach, and keeping you from shortcuts that would have cost you more than you understood. So, I am correcting your interpretation today. Stop interpreting me by your feelings, and start interpreting your feelings by my word. Feelings will rise and fall like waves, but my covenant does not shift. When the anxiety says, it's over, answer it with, my truth, it is not over, it is unfolding. When fear says, you are behind, answer it, I am being positioned. When your mind says, nothing is happening, answer it, heaven has been working beneath the surface of my life. Rest your timeline in my hands. Release the need to force what I am forming. I am not postponing your life. I am preparing your future. And the same way dawn does not announce itself until it is already on its way, your suddenly will not need your fear's permission to arrive. It will come on my word, in my time, with my peace, closer than your fear believes. You keep looking for fruit, and I keep pointing you to the soil. Because you have been staring at what is not showing yet, and fear has tried to call it dead, but what is buried is not dead. What is covered is not canceled. What is underground is not absent. It is becoming. It is forming. It is strengthening in silence, in darkness, in places you cannot measure with your eyes, and that is why you must not judge this season by what you can applaud. There are things I grow in you that cannot grow in the spotlight. There are roots I build that cannot be posted, cannot be proven, cannot be validated by quick results. I have been working in your quiet obedience, the moments you did the right thing when nobody clapped for you, when you kept your word, when you restrained your tongue, when you chose peace over proving a point. I have been working in your private prayer, the tears you wiped before anyone saw, the sighs you breathed when you did not even have language left, the nights you whispered, "Help me," and that was the whole prayer. I have been working in your integrity, the decision to be honest when dishonesty would have been easier, the choice to walk away from what would have stained you, the refusal to trade your future for a moment. I have been working in your healing, the slow restoration of your heart, the breaking of patterns that ran through your family line, the mending of places you thought would always ache. I have been working in your discernment, the sharpening of your spirit, so you no longer call danger opportunity, so you no longer call chaos chemistry, so you no longer confuse noise for direction. You wanted fruit, but you needed roots. You asked me for speed, but I built stability. You prayed for open doors, but I first made you strong enough to walk through them without losing yourself on the other side. Hear me. I have been strengthening your root system so your blessing won't topple you when it arrives. Because a tree that grows fast but grows shallow will fall in the first strong wind, and I did not bring you this far to watch you break under what you begged me to give you. Yes, you felt the frustration. You looked at the surface and thought nothing was changing. You questioned whether the seed was even there. But I am telling you now, the pressure you felt was not proof of my absence. It was proof of formation. The stretching you felt was not punishment. It was expansion. The waiting you resented was not wasted. It was watered. So do not despise the hidden place. Do not rush the process I designed to protect you. What you could not see was the evidence that you are closer than you think, because roots mean fruit is on the way, and stability means increase can stand. And as I strengthen what is underground, I am also moving what is ahead of you. While you have been looking at the soil, I have been working beyond your view, rearranging rooms, aligning doors, moving obstacles, and preparing encounters you have not yet imagined. Your suddenly is not an idea, it is being formed, and what looks like delay is divine preparation. While you have been looking for a sign on the surface, I have been moving in places you cannot enter yet. I have been behind the scenes, rearranging rooms, because I refuse to let your blessing meet you in confusion. Hear me, what you called a setback was me preparing the space so what I bring into your life arrives with peace, not chaos. I am not only interested in getting you to the promise, I am committed to how you enter it. I am committed to the atmosphere you live in when it shows up. I am committed to the stability that holds it when it arrives. And I need you to learn the language of my already, because your eyes keep saying nothing, but heaven keeps saying already. I am already opening doors you have not knocked on yet. I am already moving obstacles you could not move with your strength. I am already preparing connections you have not met yet. I am already shifting outcomes you thought were fixed. I am already softening hearts, already rerouting timing, already aligning favor, already arranging the right yes at the right moment. You thought the hallway was empty, but I was simply working in the next room. You asked me, why did it take so long? Because I was not only bringing you to a destination, I was positioning you for it. You asked, why did it fall apart? Because you were holding pieces that could not carry the weight of what I am about to do. You asked, why did they leave? Because I will not allow people to occupy rooms in your life that contaminate your peace and confuse your identity. Some exits were not abandonment, they were surgery. Some endings were not punishment, they were protection. Some delays were not denial, they were the detour of providence, because the route had to change when the destination mattered. Do you think I have only been working in one corner of your life? No. I have been working in your career, shaping opportunity so it does not cost you your soul. I have been working in your finances, teaching stewardship and removing leaks you did not see. I have been working in your health, strengthening what is fragile and guiding you into wisdom day by day. I have been working in your family, healing patterns, quieting strife, restoring what you thought would stay broken. I have been working in your relationships, removing counterfeit connections and preparing covenant ones. I have been working in your ministry and your purpose, training your hands for what you will carry. I have been working in your identity, so you no longer beg for a seat at tables I never assigned you to. So, when the plan changed, when the door stalled, when the timeline stretched, do not call me absent. Call it arrangement, call it alignment, call it mercy that goes ahead of you and makes the place ready. Because not every open path leads to peace, and in the next breath you will understand this. Some doors did not open because they were not peace, and I will not trade your destiny for a shortcut that leaves you bleeding. And now, my child, I need you to let me touch the place that still aches when you think about what did not work out, because you have carried the sting like a question mark in your chest. The message you sent that never got answered. The call you waited for that never came. The interview that felt promising and then went silent. The contract that was almost yours and then collapsed. The relationship that ended without the closure you needed. The friendships that changed and left you wondering what you did wrong. I saw the moment you smiled in public and then cried in private. I saw how you replayed conversations, how you reread old words, how you tried to find the flaw in yourself so you could make the loss make sense. I am not minimizing that pain. I am naming it because I healed what you are willing to bring into my light. But hear me with gentle authority. You mistook my protection for rejection. You called yourself unworthy, and I called you spared. You thought you were being pushed out when I was pulling you away. You thought that closed door was punishment when it was rescue. Not every open path leads to peace. Not every yes is a blessing. And some doors stayed closed because traps were behind them. Traps you could not see, motives you could not discern yet, rooms that looked like opportunity but were filled with anxiety, compromise, and confusion. I did not reject you. I shielded you, because your destiny is too valuable to place in the wrong room. I saw what you could not see. I heard what was being said when you were not in the conversation. I knew what that environment would have demanded from you. I knew what it would have cost your mind, your joy, your purity, your future. And because I love you, I refused to let your longing lead you into a place that would have drained you. Yes, you were emotionally attached. Yes, you were invested. Yes, you were ready to force it open, but I removed what you were still holding on to because I was protecting your future and your mind. I was cutting off what would have kept you small, what would have kept you performing for acceptance, what would have kept you negotiating with people who could not honor what I placed on you. Release the shame. Stop telling yourself, if I were better, they would have stayed. If I were smarter, it would have worked. If I were more lovable, I would have been chosen. No, this was not a verdict on your value. This was my mercy interrupting your attachment. This was me refusing to let you build your life around a table that would have starved you. This was me protecting you from being celebrated publicly and destroyed privately. This was me saving you from an agreement that would have made you successful on paper and empty in your soul. And understand this also, protection is not only removal, protection is preparation. When I close a door, I am not just keeping you out of something, I am keeping you for something. I am making room for increase that will require maturity. I am preparing you for responsibility that will demand stability. I am teaching you to recognize peace as a sign, not just excitement, because what I am bringing will not need you to beg, chase, or shrink yourself to fit. It will meet you in the right room, at the right time, with the right covering, and you will enter it with your head lifted, your heart healed, and your spirit steady. So now hear me, because I am not only keeping you for something, I am building you for it. You thought I was slowing you down, but I was strengthening you, because what is coming requires a stronger you. What you prayed for is not small, and I will not answer it in a way that breaks you. I will not give you increase that your soul cannot carry. I will not bring you into a suddenly that your spirit has not been trained to steward, because elevation without formation becomes exhaustion, and blessing without capacity becomes bondage. There are seasons when I delay the visible so I can deepen the invisible. While you were asking for the door, I was building the shoulders. While you were asking for the platform, I was building the character. While you were asking for the relationship, I was healing the patterns. While you were asking for the promotion, I was teaching you how to breathe in pressure without losing peace. I have been forming patience, so you do not panic when things move slowly. I have been sharpening discernment, so you do not call every opportunity my voice. I have been giving you spiritual authority, so you stop begging what I already promised. I have been growing emotional maturity so you can be corrected without collapsing, celebrated without becoming proud, and disappointed without becoming bitter. I have been teaching you boundaries so you stop bleeding for people who refuse to heal. I have been building endurance so the first strong wind does not make you question my goodness. And I am asking you to examine yourself with honesty, not condemnation. Can you steward peace, or do you only know how to function in chaos? Can you handle increase without anxiety, or will you try to control everything because you are afraid to lose it? Can you forgive without reopening wounds, or do you keep returning to what I already brought you out of? Can you receive love without suspicion, correction without offense, waiting without turning it into a verdict against yourself? Because I am not just bringing you to the blessing, I am making you ready to live inside it. Do not fear the suddenly, but understand this. Sudden elevation is only safe when preparation was steady. What looks overnight to people will be the result of quiet strengthening between you and me. And this is why the process has felt intense at times, why it has pressed on places you did not know were weak, because preparation often feels like pressure. But pressure is not punishment. Pressure is how I shape what will last. Pressure is how I seal what will hold. And you are closer than you think. And I know what you have been feeling lately, even if you have not had words for it. The way the air has felt heavier in your chest. The way small things have tried to irritate you more than usual. The way fatigue has sat on your shoulders, not just in your body, but in your spirit. The way doubt has whispered louder at the very moment you decided to believe again. The way resistance has met you on ordinary days. As if something unseen is pushing back against your progress. You have wondered, if I'm doing what you asked, why does it feel harder right now? And I am answering you with tenderness and truth. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it is proximity. Because there is a kind of weight that shows up when a thing is about to shift. There are birth pains that do not mean death, they mean new life is pressing its way into the world. There is pruning that does not mean I am done with you, it means I am making room for fruit you have not carried yet. There is a darkest hour that does not mean morning forgot you, it means dawn is already leaning toward your window. So, do not interpret this resistance as a sign you are losing. The resistance you feel is not proof you're falling behind, it is proof you are close. Hear me, the enemy does not fight what is not moving. Hell does not send pressure to what has no purpose. And the heaviness you have been enduring is not the closing of your story, it is the tightening of the final chapter before sudden movement. You are in the stretch where your emotions will beg you to quit, where your mind will demand evidence, where your patience will feel thin, where the quiet will tempt you to assume I have forgotten. But do not quit in the quiet. Do not abandon obedience because you cannot measure progress. Do not throw away seeds because you cannot yet see the field. Stay steady, stay soft, stay faithful, stay with me. I am teaching you endurance that does not depend on applause. I am strengthening your yes when it is inconvenient. I am anchoring you so that when the doors swing open quickly, you do not lose your footing in the speed of answered prayer. And I am telling you now, so your heart does not misread this moment, that the weight you feel is not the end of your story. It is evidence you are near the shift. And now, I am going to lock this into your spirit with my word, because my promises are not poetry, they are covenant. My word says in Galatians, do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap if you do not faint. My word says in Isaiah that those who wait on me shall renew their strength. My word says in Psalm 30 that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So breathe, hold on, keep walking. Your due season is not imaginary, your morning is not canceled, and your suddenly is closer than your fear's timeline has suggested. Now let me lock it deeper, not with your feelings, not with the evidence you keep searching for, but with my word, because my word is not a suggestion for your better days. It is covenant over your life. And covenant is not fragile. Covenant does not change because the morning feels heavy. Covenant does not withdraw because your timeline got stretched. Covenant stands. Receive this as your legal decree. What I have spoken has authority over what you see, over what you feel, and over what you fear. My word says in Philippians 4:6-7, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." Hear me, this is a transaction. You do not have to carry anxiety and pray at the same time. You bring me the worry, the what if, the spiral, the tightness in your chest, the thoughts that race when the room is quiet, and in exchange, I give you peace. Not peace that makes sense to your circumstances, but peace that passes understanding. And that peace does not merely visit you, it guards you. It stands at the doorway of your mind and the doorway of your heart and says, "You will not be invaded today." So stop rehearsing the outcome you fear and start presenting your request with thanksgiving, because peace is your portion while your suddenly is forming. And when you look at your life and it feels like wilderness, no clear path, no familiar landmarks, no quick answers, remember what I said in Isaiah 43, "I make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." I am not limited by the terrain you are in. I do not need roads to get you where I promised. I create paths where none exist, and I cause provision to rise in places that used to be dry. What looks impossible to you is simply space for me to reveal myself as the one who makes a way. And hear me about the time you think you lost. My word says in Joel 2:25, "I will restore the years the locust has eaten." I am not only healing your heart, I am redeeming your seasons. I can compress what felt delayed. I can return what was stolen. I can resurrect opportunity, rebuild what collapsed, and repay in ways that make your jaw drop, not as a memory, but as a manifestation. I restore years. I restore momentum. I restore joy. I restore what you thought was gone for good. And for the days you have been broken, for the grief you have tried to hide, for the ache you wake up with and the questions you cannot answer, my word says in Psalm 34:18, that I am close to the brokenhearted, and I save those who are crushed in spirit. I am not far from your tears. I am not irritated by your mourning. I am near. I am close enough to hold you steady while you heal, close enough to whisper strength into you when you feel weak, close enough to remind you that your pain is not proof of abandonment. It is the very place I come to meet you. So let this be settled. My promises are not poetry, they are covenant. They authorize your peace now. They announce your restoration ahead. They declare my nearness in the middle. And as you breathe, as you trust, as you keep walking, your suddenly is not drifting away, it is drawing near, closer than fear's timeline has suggested, because I am the one who spoke it, and I do not fail. And now I am speaking to the thought you have tried to push down, the one that rises in the quiet when the noise is gone and the morning feels too honest. Maybe heaven misplaced my name. You did not say it in church. You did not post it where people could comment faith at you. But you have felt it when the calendar kept turning, when the phone stayed silent, when the same prayer came back to your mouth again and again, and you wondered if you were just one number in a crowd of requests. Hear me with tenderness and authority. I have not misplaced your name. I do not lose track of my children. I am not confused about where you are. I am not uncertain about what I promised. I am not delayed because I forgot you. I have been with you in the waiting, and I have been working in it, because your waiting has been witnessed, not wasted. I counted every tear you wiped before anyone saw. I counted every lonely morning when you got up anyway, when you brushed your hair, when you showed up with a smile while your chest felt heavy. I counted every silent battle you fought in your mind, every anxious thought that tried to spiral you into the worst-case outcome, every night you stared at the ceiling and tried to breathe through the fear. I counted every time you tried again to trust, again to forgive, again to hope, again to be responsible, again to pray when your faith felt thin. I saw what you couldn't explain, and I heard what you couldn't say out loud. When your words ran out and all you had was a sigh, I understood the language of it. You are not overlooked. You are not abandoned. You are not disqualified because you struggled. You are still chosen. You are still covered. You are still being guided. Even in the days you felt messy, even in the moments you felt unsure, even in the season you felt like you were limping instead of running, I did not step back from you. I stayed close. I held you steady. I kept you when you didn't know how to keep yourself. So I am asking you to come out of agreement with the lie of being forgotten. Do not let fear name you. Let me name you. And I want you to say it out loud, even if your voice trembles, even if it's a whisper in your room. I am not forgotten. I am seen. I am known. I am loved. Say it again. My waiting is not wasted. My prayers are not ignored. My name is held in heaven. Because when you agree with my truth, your spirit stops sinking under the weight of time, and you begin to stand in expectation, steady, guarded in peace, ready for the suddenly that is already drawing near. Now hear me, because comfort is not the end of this moment, agreement is. There are things I have promised that are already moving toward you, and fear has tried to stop them by getting your mouth to partner with the wrong timeline. Fear keeps a calendar and calls it wisdom. Fear counts days and calls it discernment. Fear rehearses worst-case outcomes and calls it preparation. But I am teaching you a different mechanism in the spirit. What you agree with, you empower. What you speak over your life, you either reinforce or you release. Some battles do not begin in your schedule, they begin in your sentences. And breakthroughs often begin the moment you stop letting fear narrate your process. Because when you keep saying, it's too late, you strengthen the lie. When you keep saying, nothing ever changes, you feed discouragement. When you keep saying, I'm behind, you burden your soul with a weight I never assigned you to carry. But when you start agreeing with my word, something in you straightens. Your spirit rises to meet what I already arranged. Your mind becomes guarded, your heart becomes steady, and you become ready for sudden change. Not because you control the outcome, but because you aligned with truth. So I want you to speak, not loudly for performance, quietly with authority. Repeat after me, and let your own ears hear what heaven has been saying. Say, I will not panic in the process. Say it again, I will not panic in the process. Now say, a promise delayed is not denied. Say, my suddenly is approaching. Say, God is going before me. Say, I will not agree with fear's countdown. Say, I am not forgotten, and I am not falling behind. Because when you stop agreeing with fear's timeline and start agreeing with my word, your inner world becomes a place I can move through without resistance. And if you need a way to seal this publicly, I want you to type this as your agreement, as your declaration in the open, where fear can no longer keep you silent. My suddenly is close, and I will not fear. Let it be seen, let it be spoken. Let it be a line in the sand between who you were in survival and who you are becoming in faith. And do not keep this to yourself. Send this to someone who has been counting days and feeling forgotten. Send it to someone who woke up heavy, someone who is tired of waiting, someone who has been quietly losing hope. Let them borrow your faith this morning until their own strength returns, because I use shared light to push back shared darkness. Now listen closely, this is where you transition. Declarations are not demands, and faith is not control. Agreement is not you gripping tighter, it is you letting my word grip you. You have spoken against the countdown, and now you will loosen your hands. Because the next move is not striving, it is surrender. The next step is not forcing, it is trusting, and I am ready to carry what you have been carrying. So now, my child, unclench your hands, because I have watched you try to hold tomorrow like it was a fragile object you could protect by thinking about it hard enough. I have seen the way your mind keeps rehearsing outcomes, the way you play conversations back to back to back, the way you recheck the door that didn't open, reread the message that didn't come, revisit the moment you wish you could redo. I have seen you wake up and reach for your phone, scrolling for proof, for updates, for signs, doom scrolling possibilities until your spirit feels crowded and your chest feels tight. And I am not shaming you for that. I am naming it, because I do not want you to live under a burden you were never built to carry. Control has been costing you sleep. Control has been costing you joy. Control has been costing you peace, because you have been trying to do with your thoughts what only I can do with my hands. You have been trying to manage timing, manage people, manage perception, manage outcomes, when I am the one who holds times and seasons, the one who turns hearts, the one who opens doors no one can shut, and closes doors no one can force. So hear me. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is not you saying, nothing will change. Surrender is you placing your future into the hands that already went ahead of you. It is you stepping out of panic and back into alignment. It is you saying, I will not be my own savior today. It is you letting me carry what you have been carrying. Give me what you were never meant to hold. Give me your tomorrow. Give me your outcomes. Give me your timelines. Give me the need to understand everything before you obey. Give me the weight of comparison, the impatience that makes you feel behind, the bitterness that keeps reopening old wounds, the shame that keeps whispering, "You are the reason it didn't work." Give me the fear that tightens your throat, the worry that keeps circling the same question, the resentment you have hidden under, "I'm fine," the exhaustion you keep calling normal. Right now, in this morning moment, release it. Every worry, every fear, every burden. Release the urge to force, to chase, to prove, to control. Release the need to have the last word, the need to be chosen by what I already removed, the need to keep checking the closed door as if your peace lives on the other side of it. Let it go and come back into my hands. And I am telling you what will happen the moment you do. Peace will settle you. Even before the suddenly shows up, peace will arrive because you are back where you belong, held, covered, guided, carried. Peace will guard your mind. Peace will soften your shoulders. Peace will quiet the racing thoughts, not because everything has already changed around you, but because you have changed position in the spirit. You have returned to trust. You have returned to me. So now stay with me, because we are about to pray, and this prayer will not be you begging a distant God. This will be you agreeing with the one who has already gone before you. I am ready to cover your mind, your home, your family, your finances, your health, your relationships, your purpose, your next step, and the suddenly that is forming. So breathe and let your heart open, because as you surrender, I will speak peace into you and breakthrough over you. So now breathe with me. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let the room you are in become holy again, not because it is perfect, but because I am here with you in it. And as you pray, do not pray like you are trying to wake me up. Do not pray like you are trying to convince me to care. Pray like a child who has finally come back into the arms that were already open. Because this morning, you are not begging a distant God, you are agreeing with the breakthrough I have already been arranging beneath the surface. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bring you, my child, right now, exactly as they are. I bring you the thoughts that have been racing, the worry that has been looping, the heaviness that has been sitting on their chest in the morning and following them into the night, and I speak peace over their mind. Let Philippians 4 become real in their body, peace that passes understanding, peace that guards the heart, peace that guards the mind. I rebuke the cycle of anxiety. I break the agreement with fear's predictions. I release rest over insomnia, calm over panic, clarity over confusion, and courage over every imagined worst-case outcome. Let their nervous system come back under heaven's order. Let the noise quiet. Let the breath deepen. Let their mind be still enough to hear me again. And Father, I speak over doors, provision, and favor. I am the one who opens doors no one can shut, and I ask you to bring aligned opportunities, timely phone calls, the right conversations, the right rooms, the right helpers. Release creative solutions where they have hit a wall. Send unexpected assistance, divine partnerships, wise counsel, provision that arrives in ways they could not have planned. I speak wisdom over their spending, discipline over their stewardship, and relief over debt. Teach them to manage what you place in their hands, and then surprise them with increase that does not steal their peace. And Father, I speak healing and restoration. Touch their body, every inflamed place, every tired place, every place carrying pain. Touch their mind, every trauma memory, every lingering grief, every weight of depression. Touch their relationships, what has been strained, what has been misunderstood, what has been broken by pride, silence, or old wounds. Heal family lines. Break patterns that have repeated for generations. And by your word in Joel, restore what was lost, redeem the time, return what the enemy tried to consume, and let their life not just recover, but flourish. And Father, I ask for protection and discernment. Keep them out of the wrong rooms. Expose counterfeit opportunities that look like answers but carry compromise. Remove draining connections that steal strength and disguise themselves as loyalty. Give them boundaries without guilt, wisdom without suspicion, and a clear yes and a clear no. Let them recognize peace as a sign. Let them be led, not pressured, covered, not confused. And now I seal this morning over them. Let the suddenly break forth in the right time, in the right way, with the right fruit. Let peace stay while it forms. Let faith rise while they wait. And let them remember, All day long, heaven has been working beneath the surface, and what looks like delay is divine preparation. Amen. And now, I seal it with authority, not with anxiety, not with a fragile hope that depends on what happens next. I seal it with my word and my presence. Peace will guard you today. Peace will stand at the entrance of your mind and refuse the invasion of old spirals. Peace will settle on your shoulders when you feel the urge to rush. Peace will keep your heart from replaying yesterday and trying to predict tomorrow. And when fear tries to tap you on the chest and say, "What if nothing changes?" you will answer, "Heaven has already moved, and I will not be shaken." I declare sudden doors you could not force, doors you could not network into, doors you could not manipulate, opening in the right time, with clean hands and a clear conscience. I declare sudden clarity where you have been confused, sudden wisdom where you have been stuck, sudden strategy where you felt limited, sudden favor where you expected resistance. I declare a sudden lifting of heaviness. That weight that has followed you in the morning will not own your day. The tightness in your chest will loosen, the dread will break, the fog will thin, and you will feel strength return, not because everything is already visible, but because I am already ahead of you. And I declare an identity shift in you, right now. You are not forgotten, you are remembered. You are not stuck, you are prepared. You are not rejected, you are protected. You are not anxious, you are anchored. You are not behind, you are being positioned. You are not disqualified because you struggled. You are still chosen, still covered, still guided. What you thought was delay was divine preparation, and what you thought was silence was hidden movement. I have been working beneath the surface, and I do not waste seasons, I redeem them. So walk into today with quiet confidence. Do not enter your day bracing for bad news. Enter it expecting my leadership. My timing is not threatened by what you see. My promise is not weakened by what you feel. My hand is not shortened by what you cannot control. Keep your spirit soft. Keep your steps steady. Keep your mouth aligned with my word. And when you notice even a small sign of movement, do not minimize it. Thank me, because the suddenly often begins like a whisper before it becomes a wave. If you receive this, say amen out loud and let your spirit agree. And now stay connected. Subscribe for more morning prayers for breakthrough and comment your declaration. My suddenly is close. And if you feel led, share one area you're believing me for your healing, your family, your finances, your direction, your open door so we can pray with you in the comments. Your day is sealed in peace and expectation, and your suddenly is closer than your fear thinks, because I am already ahead of you.